What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Panda here, and today we are playing some Watcher of Realms. Guys, we are going to try and make one final push in the Rise of the Conqueror Immortal Codex. You'll see here that we are pretty close to hitting triple S, or maybe it's SS plus. Is that how that works? SS plus, my apologies. We're really close to hitting SS plus, and I want to try and get there if possible. And I think that there may be a way to do that. So we are going to do a couple test runs. We're going to swap some gear around. We're going to see what we can do, see what our account is capable of. So let's dive right into it. And welcome back, guys. So let's quickly take a look at the team that I have used in the past for this fight. And this is it right here. We are using a Aatrox, a Cerberus, a Valkyra, an Abomination, a Volca, and a Vladov. Now, I have heard some stuff. I had some comments about using Vladov and how he wasn't very good here because of the fact that he is single target. Now, this is a true statement. The reason I've been using him is because he is a Lord and he provides the Lord skill of increasing damage based on their HP lost. However, there was a good point that was brought up, which is the fact that I do have a Toreador. And so I think it may make sense to use Toreador in this team instead. So we're going to probably give this a try. We're going to see if it makes sense. And I am also thinking about using some other champions as well. For example, we do have Lust, which I'm not 100% sure if this makes a lot of sense. Because she is pretty much a single target. So I don't know if it makes sense to do that. But because we're using so many Nightmare units, it could be a possibility. But I think I'm not going to use her, but I am potentially going to use, if I can find him, Wrath. So Wrath is someone that I have been thinking about using because he is an AoE champion. He does a ton of damage, so he's someone that I was thinking about potentially using, but I do want to try it just like this. I want to see if this works out. I want to see how much damage we lose from having Cerberus and Aatrox without the Lord skill, and see if it gets made up by having Abomination and Volca with the Lord skill. I'm also questioning if Volca actually makes sense, because Volca might not actually make sense on this team. She was originally there because of this passive here, but because I haven't invested any skills into her, any skill stones, I'm not quite sure it makes sense to even use her. She does do AoE damage on her basic, which is another reason why she does really well. And she also, when she gets 5 stacks of Scarlet Ferment, each of her attacks consume and deal AoE damage up to 10 targets. So she does do some decent damage overall, but we're gonna give it a try. We're gonna see what happens. Let's see what we can get going here. We've also made some progress on my Abomination. We actually did get him to A1, which I think is not a game changer, but this stun could potentially come in handy, give us a little bit of extra progression there. But let's go ahead and do a regear. Let's get people set up. We're going to start here with Valkyra. She is probably our most important champion, I think. So we are going to give her the best set we can, which is our Zilatu's gear. She does a ton of damage. She does it from range. So Realm Tear is going to be the weapon that the artifact that we use. Then we can come over to our Cerberus, and Cerberus is another one that is very good. And we are going to put him in this set right here. And then we are going to make a change. Let me find it. Is it this one? I think it's this one. This one? Yeah, this one. So we do this, we swap this out to get him to 100% crit rate, which I think is really good. Oh, and he is using a Lunacy Visor, as you can see here. We do have another one that I kind of want to use, but I don't have the Mithril. Let's see if we can get the Mithril. We might be able to. I don't know. I try to keep at least one of everything, but I don't know. We might not anymore. Just scrolling through here. We can get rid of that. Let's see. I don't really need those. We can get rid of those. What else can we get rid of? What does that put us to? Haha, just enough. All right, let's do this. There we go. We'll pump this up to the next, which will give us just a little bit of extra bonus here. So now we are doing 1.1% of max HP each time they deal damage to one target, stacking up to 3 times. So we get 3.3% of a max damage healing, which I think would be pretty good. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes overall. But let's move on to Aatrox. Aatrox will be our next person. So Aatrox is actually going to go into my curse set of gear, which is this set right here. It's typically the set we use him in, and he will get the Eye of Sin, as you can see here, just to get that little bit of extra AoE damage. We like that for him. Then we will go on to Abomination. So Abomination gets typically our second best Infernal Roar set, which normally I say is this one. I think that is still the case. Yeah, it is definitely still that set right there. And then he gets, let's see here. I think we normally give him Wailing Skull. So let's go ahead and give him the Wailing Skull. We could go and upgrade this. Let's see. We kind of got the one that matters the most. This could be very good though. Let's see if we can get lucky. No, okay. I don't want to use the skill stones on him quite yet, because like I said in my previous video, I don't want to invest like a ridiculous amount into him. But also at the same time, I don't want him to be like completely wasted, right? All right, so then we have our third person here who's going to get this set right here. I think is the best one. Believe this is the Boreas set of gear. So there we go. She goes into our Boreas set of gear. And then for artifact, she probably does want the Frigid Flame. That does make sense for her, I think. Yeah, we'll keep the Frigid Flame on her. And then we have Torador, and I don't think Torador is currently built into a real set. I think I want to put him into a Glacier set, if possible. Maybe we can steal my Isolde's Glacier set. Where's my Isolde? Here we go. This doesn't look terrible. We got him with lots of HP. He's got some crit rate built in. I kind of want to get him more crit rate though. Let's see. We could use Tuning Crystal. Does he have inbuilt healing? No, but he does have, we do have Volca though. Yeah, we do have Volca. So actually the Astral Obelisk does make sense, because then we can get a ton of rage regen, which will allow us to ultimate more. And he can attack multiple enemies with that. Let's go ahead and put a couple skill ups into him. Not going to use any skill stones. Oh, let's go. Keep giving me that ultimate. That's okay. Let's go. Can we get that last one? No. Darn. Almost. Almost. All right, we're not going to invest any more into him just yet. I do like this set. I wish I had a little more crit rate, but it's not the end of the world. He gets a good chunk of attack from this. He's very tanky. We may swap that up a little bit to see what else we can do. But overall, I like this setup. I like this setup. So let's give this a try. Let's see what happens. We're going to do our best to get some extra progression here. So let's go ahead and start. So first things first, we're going to place our Velcro here in the middle facing front. Then we are going to place our boy Abomination. And then we're going to place Torador. Let's place Torador like this. And then we will place, oh, of course. Hold on, let's restart this. I want to get my Volca down in that slot. So we've got to be a little bit faster. This, into this, into this, into that. And we'll actually just let that go. We'll just let this play through. We'll let it play through. I think that makes sense. Let it sit there for a hot minute. Wait until we really need stuff. Okay. Getting some good stuff going on. All right, let's go ahead and place Aatrox down now. Get him started. Okay. Looking good. Starting to speed things up here. This should be the last wave that's required before we go into the boss rush phase. Alrighty, there we go. So now we're in the boss rush phase, and we're pretty much just going to ultimate when we can. That's kind of the goal here. Our Aatrox is going to die here shortly. He'll then be rezzed by Valkra's passive. And then we will place down our Cerberus here shortly as well. There's the res on the Aatrox. We get the passive on the ground, which is nice. And then pretty much as soon as our Aatrox dies, in fact, we'll go ahead and place him now. Our Cerberus will get placed on the field, and we will start doing tons and tons of damage with our Cerberus. And then we can basically immediately place our Aatrox right back down, which is really nice. We're going to get an ultimate from our Cerberus here. There it is. We're going to get that proc on the Aatrox death. And then Aatrox will be able to come back up again. So we're actually keeping our Cerberus around for quite some time, which is really good. We're already into S territory, which is nice. I feel like this is pretty quick in comparison to where we've been before. But we are making good progress. Cerberus is taking some damage, but he's healing pretty nicely. There he goes, though. He is down. But now we have his puddle to clean up a lot of these ads, and we can place Aatrox down to start clearing out more afterwards. Aatrox is probably going to die very quickly, but we have made some very good progress here. Can we make enough progress to push? Not quite. Not quite. But let's see what the damage looks like. That didn't feel like it was a terrible run. It felt pretty good. Let's see what our damage looked like. Wow, Abomination putting in work. That's quite amazing. That's quite amazing how much damage Abomination actually put in. So here's what I want to do now. I want to try someone else in place of Volca, because I feel like Volca doesn't do a lot for us there. There was the potential of trying Admiral Claw, who we have used in the past. And maybe he's someone that we use now. I'm not sure. Let's take a look at the rankings, because I'm pretty sure I've seen an Admiral Claw up here in the top. At one point, I thought that I saw one. Let's see if we can find him. It was more towards the start, so it might have been before all of the big boys here started doing their hits. I'm not seeing one pop up now. Yeah, not seeing one pop up. That's okay though. So let's try the Wrath. Wrath was the person that I was thinking of trying. So we're going to take Volca out and we're going to put Wrath in. And we're literally just going to swap the Volca's gear. Just going to swap it straight across. And we're going to give him a different gear. Let's see. I guess we'll just give him the Frigid Flame, yeah? Let's give him the Frigid Flame. And we're basically going to do the same thing, except we're just going to use a Wrath in place of Volca and see if that makes a huge difference. I don't necessarily think it will, but I'm excited to see what happens. You know, it could definitely be interesting. We are going to get the Soulbound Arcana procced very quickly because he is an auto ultimate, and it's a very quick ultimate. So we'll get more damage out of the Soulbound Arcana this way. And he does hit pretty hard, which is good, right? Let's see. We may also need to make a change to the Toreador gear and put him into actual damage set instead of the Glacier set. That could end up being better potentially overall. But here we go. We're making it into the set. Let's drop our Aatrox now. Get him started. And then we'll go ahead and pop our Valkyra ultimate here. All right. We're getting some good damage off the start. I feel like we're pushing pretty quickly. The only thing I am concerned about is now we don't have access to any healing on our frontline units. Like Wrath has his inbuilt healing, but our Abomination doesn't have inbuilt healing. We're going to go ahead and drop Cerberus now. We also have a little bit less time of Aatrox uptime because of the fact that we don't have Volca on the field anymore, so we don't get that reduction in time. But I think overall that'll be okay. Let's see. Our Aatrox goes down. There he goes. So yeah, we got 20 seconds on the cooldown for him now. Abomination putting in work here up in the top lane, though. Getting lots of damage. Here comes Aatrox down again. Cerberus still alive. Our Abomination has died. So this is what I was worried about, is even though it's a minor amount of healing, it ends up adding up over time, right? Which makes me feel like this is going to be less damage overall. Let's go ahead and get this down. Yep, so definitely less damage overall. But let's look and see what Wrath was able to actually bring to the table. So he didn't really bring as much as I would have expected, right? So let's try this again. We're going to take Wrath out and we're going to put Volca back in. And then what we're going to do is, whoops, didn't mean to do that. We're going to swap up this gear. So let's go find our Isolde and give her back this set of gear. There you go. And then let's see what we can get him in. Maybe we can put him in an Infernal Roar set. Do we have? I think we have another Infernal Roar set that's not being used. Abomination, Silas's set. Here we go. We can do this. That's pretty good. Let's try that. Let's try that. Let's see what happens. And then we'll put Volca back in her set here from Wrath. And let's give her back the Frigid Flame. All right, so now we can actually just do an auto fight because we're using the same team that we were using before. Oh, wait, no, we're not. This is with Vladov. I lied. My bad. Let's try this again. All right, so let's try this again. We actually have to play this. I forgot that we didn't end up beating it the first time that we attempted. So, all right, we got the team. Let's give this another shot. We got to play it on manual, but that is okay. All right, so we're going to do this, into that, into that. And we'll go ahead and just place this down now. All right. I am excited to see the damage that Torador can do in an actual DPS set. I think it's going to be interesting, to say the least. We shall see what happens. All right, we're almost to the actual boss rush portion of the fight. We got a couple more enemies to take out here. And here we go, into the boss rush phase. And we'll pop on the auto ultimates. All right, and here goes our Aatrox. Going to pass down here. There we go, back to full health with the Valkyra proc. All right, we're doing pretty well here. Aatrox definitely surviving a lot longer with that passive healing from Volca. All right, and now comes down Cerberus, taking that middle section up. We're going to go ahead and place our... No, we're going to place him in the middle still. We're going to place Aatrox still in the middle, because I want to keep my Cerberus alive as long as possible, and by putting Aatrox in front of him, he helps dilute some of the damage that he would have otherwise taken, right? All right, Aatrox is going to go down here momentarily. Okay, we got about 10 more seconds to place him down, though, which is good. All right, so our Torador went down, procced his passive. He's back alive again. All right, and he is down for the count. We are making good damage progress, though. So here comes our Cerberus finally dying. Right as we hit the 1 million, here comes the Aatrox down. Is this the push? I don't think it is. It's definitely not. Definitely not. Seems like we did worse than before. Seems like we did worse than before. I am excited to see what the damage numbers look like, though. Let's see. Yeah, we got some good damage here. Torador just not dealing much damage there. Not dealing too much damage, you know. Overall, I mean, I feel like it's... We got some interesting information, but I'm not seeing too much of a difference overall. Like, we're getting a good chunk extra damage from our Abomination. We're losing a little bit of damage here and there. Overall, I kind of feel like this is probably the highest that we can push at the moment. The only other way we're going to push more is going to be finishing up, building up better artifacts, and getting some better gear on our champions. But overall, it feels pretty good. I am satisfied. My goal is right top 5% in every area, but I wanted to see if we could push that little bit more into SS+, and it looks like we're just not quite there yet. But that's perfectly fine. But let me know in the comment section down below, what is your score on Conqueror? Don't forget to hit that like button if you liked the video, and hit subscribe to let me know you want to see more content, and then you'll be notified when it goes live in the future. That is it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.